it's Romy. Welcome Cancer. This is your June monthly tarot card reading. If you have a Cancer sun, rising or moon, it may resonate for you. If you're enjoying my work, please do go ahead, drop me a comment and a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel too. And if you want to join me for the extended reading, there is a link in the description box underneath the video and it will take you over to my website, romywyser.com. Okay, let's take a look, see what's coming up in the cards for you this month. Hey Cancer, let's see what the energy story for June is for you. So it's going to be a busy old month. We've got 2 eclipses. One is in your sign on June 21st, Solar Eclipse. We also have a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius happening on the 5th of June. And 6 planets are going to be in retrograde through this month ahead. And then we have the second of 3 conjunctions between Jupiter and Pluto taking place at the end of the month. So really interesting time to navigate. And as we're in Gemini season, we're working with 12th house, particularly for Cancer rising. So it is a very healing time and very linked in with the past. Now, for many of you, you are going to be bumping up against this Venus retrograde energy very powerfully with regards to love, relationships, and important connections or people from the past that are coming back around. So we open up your reading with the 6 of Cups. Makes perfect sense. You are revisiting old memories, reflections of people, situations, ways of thinking, all coming back around to be reviewed, to be assessed, to be processed. You know, I've talked about the fact that this season is about returning home to the self, and the soul review that we're doing with all of these retrograde planets is such an important piece of the puzzle for what is unfolding in the year of 2020. Now, June 4th, we see Mercury moving into your sign, and Mercury is a mimic. You know, it takes on the energy of the sign that it moves into. So in Cancer, you know, you're going to feel more at home in terms of how you're going to be expressing yourself, okay? Now, Mercury is moving retrograde on June 18th right through to July 12th. So helping you to assess, move into that internal emotional landscape and perhaps figure out, you know, the people or situations that you need to reconcile. Maybe there's some forgiveness, maybe there's some decisions about really finally closing the door. You know, in a Venus retrograde, if you are in an existing relationship, undoubtedly you will be dealing with some significantly deep and complex issues that may have been a part of your relationship for a very long time. If you're single, then it's really the opportunity for you to work through any kind of, you know, self-sabotaging or wounds that have sort of perhaps held you back, really figuring out your value and what it is that you're looking for in terms of a relationship pathway so that you can then move forward into your solar returns time with a fresh new perspective and energy, yeah? But often, you know, the kind of things that come back around in retrograde can be kind of challenging to deal with, right? So we've got card of judgment coming up, and it is the opportunity for some true forgiveness, but I think that's starting with the self, you know, and I want to say that if you do find yourself in situations where you act impulsively, emotionally, you know, before you're having time to really think about the person that you now are, realizing that something isn't actually as healthy, or you actually don't want to move back into a specific type of a pattern, you know, it's okay. It's all right to have that initial kind of emotional response. It's what you choose to do next that's really important. And this is the opportunity to liberate yourself from something, to be free, and to be able to really give yourself the opportunity to move forward. Yeah. If you are feeling particularly scrutinized right now, perhaps, you know, connected with children as your role, you know, as a parent or within the family dynamic, if you are feeling that from somebody in your past, or, you know, somebody who you're in a relationship with right now and you're kind of coming up against quite challenging, difficult energies. Now, remember that Sagittarius lunar eclipse on the 5th of June has a square with both Venus and Mars. So it is going to be quite aggressive. It is going to be a little bit harsh in terms of what it reveals. However, it's almost like when the truth is laid bare, it's so much easier to then have some clarity of actually how you feel and what it is that's important to you moving forward. Yeah. Card of Judgment, though, offering the opportunity for a complete rebirth and helping to give you a reset, perhaps where there's been some disappointments or a setback, okay? That Five of Swords is about, perhaps you got what you wanted or somebody else did, but there's not a very good feeling around it. There's not really any winners here in a particular situation. So, if you have had some experience of having conversations or, energy exchanges with people, and you've both been determined to put your perspective forward, but when all is said and done there really isn't anything meaningful that's come from that, understand that there's a deeper learning here and a forgiveness of self that is going to allow you to evolve and move into a different kind of an energy. But you really need to understand what that is and take that away and sit with the learning and the teaching of what it's revealing to you, the mirroring of what's happening right now, because it's so incredibly powerful in helping to show really what is driving you at the moment, Cancer. And I think that this is what you're really going to help to work on with yourself all the way through this month of June, is like, what drives you? How is it changing? How are you supporting yourself in terms of the choices and decisions that you're making? And, really, how are you honoring how you've changed? Yeah? So now this deck, I just need to give some context for this card actually, because this tarot deck actually has the addition of two new major arcana cards, okay? And this is one of them. So if you are used to the tarot and wondering what this card is about, that is why the author has decided to put the addition of two new cards. So the Well, which is really beautiful actually as we look at it with the Six of Cups, because I think it is bringing in that beautiful emotional energy. And perhaps you are sitting in a place where you have a well of emotions, you have a well of ideas, there's something about kind of something bubbling up within you. That's what I feel. You can see that she's actually holding the pendulum here, but she's holding it away from her. So she's kind of looking out to the horizon, looking out to see what comes next, and then using her intuition and that connection into source to really figure out if this is the right way forward for her. You may have some very persuasive people who are trying to tell you through this month, Cancer, what is right for you. And that may extend into personal romantic relationships, that may unfold in the family or in your business or career. And what this card is suggesting to me is actually it's all fine to listen to what people have to say, but ultimately, this is about you taking a stance and really making decisions and choices, and major decisions and choices, to be honest, about what is right for you, okay? And that may not be what everybody wants to hear. Okay, that Five of Swords could well be the disappointment that others feel about the choices that you are making and how you want to move forward. People may even feel that you have changed your tune or gone back over something. But do you know what? That's absolutely your right to do so this month, because in this retrograde season, we have to review the plan. And remember, like we said, that lunar eclipse in Sagittarius is perhaps going to reveal some flaws, but that you need to go back and revisit to make sure that you get it right. So Queen of Pentacles coming out in the centre of your reading. Now, it could be an earth sign that is also involved or significant for you this month, a Capricorn, a Taurus, or Virgo. However, I also see this as you becoming very focused and diligent in terms of making sure that you are lining up everything that you need for what comes next. Okay, it's almost like you're having a flash of inspiration, all right? You may well be revisiting ideas from the past. You may be reconnecting with people with a view that you're drawing together the right energies, the right resources to launch something, to drive something forward, or to kind of open up a new pathway in your life. So I feel the energy of the Queen of Pentacles coming in is very supportive. She's incredibly resourceful and making sure that you're actually feeling quite grounded, so that even with all the haze and the confusion of this retrograde season, you're not losing yourself in that, because you know what, you do have some really important decisions to make, and this is about you being able to step in and almost having your own rebirth, you know, particularly as we come into, you know, your season. If this is an earth sign that you are dealing with regards to relationships, now there may be some challenges going on right now, yeah? And if that's the case, then I'm going to invite you to take some time to listen, right? Take some time to listen to what is being said and the way that it is being presented to you, okay? Because what Spirit is showing me is that actually everything that you need to know will come forth in the energy tone, like the frequency, the vibration of energy that you're sensing and feeling. And that's what you're so good at anyway, the way that you intuit and move through the world, Cancer, is in this beautiful way of clairsentience, you know, that empathic kind of understanding, the kind of between the lines, what is happening in the energy landscape. And that's what's going to reveal to you what someone's true motives or agenda is in any situation, whether it be work or personal. Now, with that information, you still get to make the choice that says, do you know what? I know that right now this person is not operating from their highest good. I know this to be true. But I can also find compassion and forgiveness and tolerance, okay? Understanding that they are too going through their own transition at the moment. But I will also hold my boundaries strong. I will also be the one that still understands what I need to do and what is right for me. And I think that solar eclipse on the new moon in Cancer is going to be so powerful for revealing to you, I think, some incredible epiphanies about relationships in your life that have somehow limited you in terms of how you see yourself, and where they've held you back. You know, maybe this is connected to your business or a job or within a family dynamic or, you know, any relationship in your life. But I think this is going to be really indicating to you this particular energy exchange, this way of doing things isn't for me anymore, because I'm not that person, and I have to take that truth now. I have to shift my world. I have to deconstruct this entire energy pattern in order to honor my soul at this moment in time. I understand what my soul contract is showing me here and why these people are showing up in this antagonistic form at the moment. They are players in the story of my life here. King of Cups coming through. Again, this could be another water sign, could be a Pisces or Scorpio or yourself, Cancer. If this is the case and this is the relationship dynamic going on here, I see this as you, if I'm really honest, whether you're male or female, this King of Cups energy, just being incredibly wise and incredibly discerning, but also very compassionate, but just really not taking any shit. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to kind of be sweet around that. It just feels that you are not prepared to put in more than what is being offered to you. This is all about healthy energy exchange now, okay? This is about taking what you've learned and understanding the person that you want to be and how you want to be leading your life moving forward. And that King of Cups energy is kind of really setting the tone, I feel, absolutely setting the tone. And that's important, because I think probably there's some people around you that need that guidance and that need to see that side of you coming out, right? And maybe in the past it's been challenging for you to do that, because maybe this person has been a bit of an Achilles heel for you, Cancer. You know, the person that whenever you're around them, you kind of default into an energy that just isn't as empowering as it should be. Ace of Cups for me is about the absolute renewal of love of self but also how that is cascading and pouring into other areas of your life. There's just this beautiful moment of awakening that I see, right? And I think that Gemini season is bringing that, flooding forth for you, so that by the time you've kind of made sense of that and some deep healing is kind of moved through, the clarity with which you now see certain people, certain situations, and the self is allowing you the opportunity to have a brand new beginning. And what's really important with this is that you're allowing it without holding on to the past. Because here's the thing, if we try to start again, but we have all that heavy baggage with us, all we're going to do is just end up repeating the same pattern over and over again. We have to let go of the version that we created in our minds of that person or that situation that felt disappointing, that felt empty, that created some sort of negative experience for us, if we are to be able to move into the energy that we really want, which is something positive, healthy, nurturing, expansive, evolving, balanced, nourishing. So your Ace of Cups is absolutely saying that, you know, the emotions, the emotional energy, the opportunity to love, to feel love, that energy exchange, the invitation of bringing in new passions, new ideas, new creative ventures in your life is all opening up for you in this month of June. But you have to let go of some of the things that have not worked out in the past. You have to release. And, you know, for some, maybe that's going to mean you just need to close the door on certain people or certain projects, you know, or certain ways of doing things, you know, and that's okay too. It's all right to have a complete U-turn. I have a feeling that some of you this month, Cancer, are just going to have that major U-turn moment over something. That's okay. Because what we're ultimately doing is we're releasing where those addictions, where that sabotage, where that temptation has pulled us back over and over and over again, right? Now, the devil is often linked to Capricorn. And remember, we've got Pluto and Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn right now. So we are still dealing with these themes in your 7th house, Cancer, connected into relationships. But this also could be representative of a Capricorn individual, or somebody that you're certainly having a lot of temptation over, you know. I think, like I said, someone's stepping forward with something that seems, you know, really sweet on paper, or they have a lot to say that, you know, they're really trying to influence you or, you know, cajole you into a certain direction or a certain pathway. But you know what? This is the time for your King of Cups energy to step forward and just say, I'm not interested in going back over anything that has nothing new to teach me. And sometimes, right, what happens through these retrograde seasons is they bring up the exact same pattern. And it has to be exactly the same before we realize that we've moved so far beyond it, you know? So whoever this devil represents, and I think for many of you, it's just the temptation of going back into something. It may be a person, it may be a relationship, it may just be a really unhealthy tendency or pattern that you have. But, you know, we've got the opportunity to be liberated from that, you know, and if we embody that energy of the Queen of Pentacles, she's helping you to do it. She's just going to help you get shit done so that actually you don't have time. You don't have time to engage with this. What I will say though, for those of you who are working through relationships and finding the healthy expression of that during Venus retrograde, there is also a tremendous amount of desire coming up, of passion, of renewed love and appreciation, you know. So some of you are going to be reconnecting, rekindling that spark and really finding something that perhaps is new to the relationship, and that feels really exciting. But again, you have to let go of what has gone before in order to explore something that you've never experienced with that person, okay? Ace of Wands coming in because we have new initiatives, we have new inspiration, we have the beginning of something exciting. Now, Ace of Wands is fire energy. Mars moves into Aries on the 28th of this month. Powerful, aggressive, determined. I'm going to go after what I want kind of an energy. And actually Venus is direct on the 25th. So I'm going to say to you from that point forth, it's much more of a green light to then say, okay, everything that we've talked about, everything that we've reviewed, we can now start to put the plans in place. We're now starting to feel out how this can work. So whether that is in the area of business, work, or relationships for you, what we're seeing is that once you kind of deal with whatever this temptation is and you figure out intuitively what is right for you, making those firm decisions, that's then starting to open up some new paths for you, some new opportunities. Feel excited about that for you. Let's take a look and see how these oracle cards are reflecting your reading. Okay, so you have the card of fragments coming through. And I think in some ways, it is a little bit of a journey through this season where you're picking up parts of yourself. You're revisiting old energy fragments. You're bumping up against deja vu moments. You're having conversations that feel like it's the 100th time you've had them. You are speaking to yourself in a way that says, I've been over and over and over this. But this is not a time for you to judge or to be self-critical about that, because what it's really showing you is the way in which you are now approaching this situation from a new perspective and a new energy. And you will see the difference, Cancer. You will, undoubtedly. You have changed irrevocably. It is inevitable that when you have that same conversation or you look back over an area of your life that you're trying to change, maybe you're trying to, for the umpteenth time, get a new health regime in place. All of a sudden, you're going to see your patterns of sabotage. You're going to see the thing that you keep doing that isn't working. You're going to see the temptation and how it shows up to knock you out of balance and alignment. And you're going to make new decisions, commitments, and promises to yourself about how you stop doing that. How you find more balance, how you come home to the self. Coming home to the self means we have to draw back all of the energy that we've given out to people, to situations, and bring it all back home so that we feel that sense of wholeness within. Yeah? But that also means that we're bumping up against lots of different types of emotions and perhaps decisions and choices that we've made in the past that don't feel so good right now as we look back over them, but that's okay, because knowing what we now know, we can move forward with a better understanding. And this is not about a time for regret. This is actually a time to feel appreciation for everything that you've given to yourself, everything that you've given away, because it's brought you to this exact moment, and this is exactly where you need to be. So here we have an eclipse in Capricorn, new direction, reevaluating success. I think for many of you through this month, you are going to come, like I said, this kind of U-turn moment, where something else comes in, a spark, a thought, an idea, and all of a sudden it makes sense, but it means that there's a new strategy that has to be formed. Capricorn energy quite strong in this, but of course that's your polar opposite sign as well, Cancer, isn't it? So we're really working, and if you think about what that means, it's almost like the disowned part of ourself, the descendant, So it's showing you what it is that you need to invite in to have more balance, right? What's the mirror revealing? It's also about honouring that success and the growth that you've already had. The Capricorn, the goat is finding its way up that mountain range. Is it easy? No. Is he absolutely versed in how to get to the top? 100%. Is that the kind of energy that you would rely on or want to be your guide as you navigate through a challenging, difficult time? Absolutely. You know, eclipses reveal information and reveal pathways and reveal things that have been previously hidden. And that information is about helping us to return home to self. Capricorn, I hope this has given you some insight into your month ahead. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and do drop me a like and a comment if it has resonated with you. If you'd like to join me for the extended reading, I'm going to go ahead and pull us some additional cards. The extended reading is about another 20 minutes or so, and we'll go into a lot more detail. You can find the link underneath the video. There's a downward arrow, just click on that. Or you can head over to my website, romywyser.com, and that will give you the link. So I'm going to invite you to think about a question that may not have come up in the general reading. And we will pull a couple of cards specifically for that question and cover that in the extended, okay? There we go. So, just going to clarify this main spread for us right now, beginning with this Six of Cups. So, Ten of Pentacles here. Certainly could be a family situation that we're looking at right now. And assessing your emotional needs, your financial needs at the moment. Nine of Wands coming through, that wounded warrior, element of perseverance needed really right now. Card of Death, could be a Scorpio energy here, but also just the transformation and the rebirth that's taking place. You know, death and judgment really affording you new direction, change coming in. Four of Swords, some kind of retreat, I think. This sacred rest time. 12th house activity always invites us to surrender into that healing and that kind of an energy. Hermit here, could be a Virgo, but also it's that deep wisdom that we talked about coming up for you this month. Okay, so Five of Swords bringing through Six of Coins, Two of Coins here. Weighing something up this month, but balance is also coming in for you. Okay. Beautiful energies coming up in the center of your reading here, Empress and the Full energy. New directions coming in, possibly around work, yeah, for many of you. Justice card here, and Nine of Coins. Knight of Cups, new romance coming in, or certainly an emphasis around romance. Oh, you're undecided though, right? Decision to make around relationships here. Chariot, card of Cancer here. Bit of a battle of hearts and minds a little bit. Interesting. Ten of Swords and Queen of Coins again. Okay. Another Ace of Wands. Another Ace of Cups. Wow, beautiful. Lovely mirrored aces coming up there. Okay, Cancer, if you're going to join me, I look forward to continuing this conversation. Otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in. I wish you bright blessings for this month ahead, and I'll speak to you again real soon. Take good care.